You're probably thinking to yourself, Dad level, you're awesome. We know, but thank you anyway. You're probably having trouble deciding which one of us to have sex with. That's natural, but nice of you to say. Okay, let's get started.
That's funny. Yeah, last time we did our top 10 villains, and when I talk about top 10 villains in general, what happens is horror movie villains take up the entire list, and if I do a top 10 non-horror, then comic book villains will take up the whole list. So I'm going to try to do my top 10 non-horror villains.
Shut the fuck up about Moon Men!
Yeah, and I'm going to try not to have comic book villains dominate the whole thing. So we're going to try this again. But yeah, last time we talked about our top villains, we mentioned there's some honorable mentions like, video game villains like Bowser and Ganon and Dr. Robotnik and the ghosts from Pac-Man. And, a lot of Disney villains as well, I mentioned. Action movie villains. So, okay, so here's my top 10 non-horror villains.
Number 10, the Hobgoblin.
Good choice.
Now, for some reason, in Spider-Man the Animated Series, he was the lead-off.
And he was Jason McIngvale, too, in the animated series.
And then, where'd he get all his stuff from? Because, the original, stole the Green Goblin stuff.
I think Norman Osborn supplied him with it all. Oscorp was, backing him. And then he started working for the Kingpin. And then he basically just, started working for himself, doing his own thing.
And then, halfway through, the fourth season, he just disappears and he's never mentioned again.
Until Jason McIngvale's arrested when Felicia Hardy discovers the costume in his closet or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually Roger Kingsley. If you read the Hobgoblin Lives story arc, because what happened was he was revealed to be Ned Leeds. These guys jumped him, and one of them broke his arm. Okay, you can't break the Hobgoblin's arm. He would have kicked all their asses, realistically.
And then
at that point, he had the strength enhanced.
And then they did this whole thing where Spider-Man and Wolverine traveled across the globe to find out who killed Ned.
Yeah, and then, once it was revealed, Ned was already dead. It was that was a huge letdown for me. So I was so glad when the original writer, Roger Stern, who created the Hobgoblin, went back and said, no, it was actually Roger Kingsley, who was his choice from the beginning. There's other people who decided it should be Ned Leeds. So it was always supposed to be Kingsley, as the Hobgoblin. He's one of Spider-Man's best villains. So yeah, good call on that one.
Yeah.
All right. For my number 10, definitely Magneto, the villain of X-Men. Eric Lyncher or Magnus, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, he's really cool because he's not really evil, and maybe kind of was in the beginning, but he just he wants to fight for mutant rights, and he believes his side is right. It's kind of like him and Charles Xavier, Professor X. It's kind of like a Martin Luther King, Malcolm X type thing. They have the same beliefs and ideals, but different ways they want to execute it.
One thing I've noticed is how more and more when he talks about mutants being the master race, humans are less than us, he's basically turning into mutant Hitler without even realizing
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, and, and he was Jewish and in the Holocaust, so, and most incarnations.
His real name's Max.
Yeah. And so, it's kind of interesting how that worked out.
Number 9. The T-1000.
Good choice.
Now, this is personally my favorite Terminator, because that was the first Terminator movie I ever saw.
T2?
Yeah. And, it's so weird how, in the beginning it's all, stealth and all this, and suddenly, it's not trying to be clever at all. At the end it tried when it turned to Sarah Connor, but then its feet were, melting into the floor. Now, I didn't like that. I thought it should have been more, psychological, where, it's, doing facial tics and stuff. Like it had a stroke or something.
Well, yeah, it was malfunctioning after it was frozen and then blown up to pieces.
Yeah.
It was malfunctioning. It started taking the form of everything it touched.
Yeah. Well, no, but that would have been more an edge of danger, so you would know which one was real.
Yeah, true.
So yeah.
That was in the extended cut too. So. Oh well, for number 9, it was a hard choice between Khan from Star Trek and Molo Ram from. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Yes, that's my favorite Indiana Jones movie. Bite me. Short-rounded Willie were annoying. Yes, I agree. Kate Capshaw is extremely annoying, as was a little Asian kid. But I think that one was the most action-packed, the most adventurous. Had a great villain, Mola Ram. Indiana actually defeated the villain at the end. It was just, oh man, I just love that movie. It's
You know
so
what-
entertaining.
You know what makes them more interesting, though?
What?
When you think that the Indiana Jones movies are just dreams that Han Solo's having while he's frozen in carbonite.
I never thought of it that way. Wouldn't that be interesting? But yeah, Mole Around was awesome. I think it was way better than Nazis in the first movie and the third movie, Last Crusade. I don't know, that stuff just never really appealed to me, but I thought he was really cool. And really evil and vicious.
Number 8. Scar from Book of Caleb.
Oh.
Now this
Good
guy's
call.
like, he's crazy. It's like, he's not really played out to be like a villain, like straight up evil. He's a jerk. And like, he's got an attitude, but like, compared to some of the other villains on this list, he's the least evil. He's got this scar on the side of his face where like, he got hit by a flying trash can and he fell into like a fence. And it cut him. It's like,
I hate when that happens.
it's kind of stupid. Okay.
My number 8 would be Lex Luthor, and he probably deserves a higher spot, but there's just so many other great ones. I mean, he's just a criminal genius, a mastermind. Superman's foil. He just it's such a contrast with like some of the other villains who were all insane and psychotic, and he's just so like cool and calm and collected. Except when Jesse Eisenberg plays him, he's kind of more spastic and over the top. But I kind of liked his portrayal as a younger version. Supposedly he's like the son of the real Lex, too, who's dead. So who knows where they're going with that. But yeah, even whether he's played by Gene Hackman or Kevin Spacey or Jesse Eisenberg, or my favorite Clancy Brown voicing him in the animated series, Telly Savalas would have been a perfect choice, by the way, if he was still alive. But yeah, Lex is just freaking awesome, icy cold demeanor, and just evil masterminds the best. And he's like a really powerful force to be reckoned with.
Number 7. For me, it's got to be the Homelander from The Boys by Garth Ennis. Now, in this world, the superheroes aren't technically superheroes. They're more like celebrities with superpowers. See, so they don't compete with like cops and firefighters. They're not given like any training at all to save people. So when they do, like when they tried to stop 9/11, they fucked the whole thing up and crashed the plane into the Brooklyn Bridge. But dude, no, this guy is like a friggin' sociopath. Imagine Superman, but he's an asshole. Like a family wins a dinner with him in a new car. He takes the car, flies about 100 feet in the air, tells them God doesn't exist, friggin' drops
Wow.
it. Oh my.
Like in the Injustice storyline, sort of.
No.
No.
He just did it because he wanted to do it.
Oh wow.
Oh my god. Okay. That's it.
7 would be Doctor Doom, the Fantastic Four's greatest nemesis, and not so much the movie portrayals like Julian McMahon and what was his name, Toby Kebbell, and
I don't
the
watch
newest one that really friggin' sucked. Doctor Doom's just awesome. Another criminal mastermind, evil genius who's created so much technological weapons and stuff. He's just incredible and breathtaking. All the stuff that he's invented, and he's not really completely a villain either. Who just wants to do evil things for the sake of doing it. He actually isn't really intelligent, does have kind of a sense of right and wrong, and he's even, became a good guy on some occasions. But yeah, he was just awesome in the Secret Wars story arc and just, various others. Yeah, he's just really cool, and you can kind of relate to him as well. He's kind of sympathetic sometimes. But yeah, Dr. Doom's just friggin' badass. I'd love to see a properly done movie adaptation, but to get somebody really good to play him.
Number 6. For me, it has to be Zoom from The Flash. Now, there's been Professor Zoom, and then there's been my personal favorite, is Hunter Zolomon, who was a friend of Wally West, who got injured and got his powers. Like, he's technically not really fast. He can just slow down time around himself where it looks like he's going fast. And, like, his thing is, though, he thinks the Flash can't be a good hero unless he faces a great tragedy. So he's made it his mission to fuck with the Flash's life so he'll become a better hero. Which ended up causing a sonic boom that killed the Flash's wife and kids, which was then redone. It's complicated. Yeah, it's like, he's evil, but he's trying to be good in his own twisted way, which is more interesting than him just being straight up evil. So, yeah, he's my number 6.
Nice. My other number 6, I already mentioned the T-1000, who, was icy and cold and just seemed really evil despite being a machine, but he could also be cast for normal, which made him all the more scarier. Like when he's talking to John's foster parents, he can kind of blend in a little more. But my choice is going to be the Terminator from the first movie. He was kind of like a slasher villain. He was like almost even like Michael Myers, and he was just so unstoppable and just so ruthless and just so cold. And man, wow, he just kicked all kinds of ass. And the scene where he shot up the police station, nobody cleaned house like the Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger was just born for that role, and it was just so friggin' awesome. It still blows me away to this day, and I like that one the best because it seems the most like a horror movie. And I'm avoiding mentioning horror movie villains, and even like people like Hannibal Lecter and Alex DeLarge. I want to mention this list because I dominated the last video. So yeah, my number 6 would be the Terminator.
We're getting down to it now. Top 5. Number 5, Sabretooth.
Ooh.
He's my favorite out of the Wolverine villains. There's this great dynamic between them. And the interesting part is...
Victor Creed.
Yeah. The interesting thing is, though, Professor X wanted him first. But due to Department H, he wasn't able to get Sabretooth, so he took Wolverine. And, I think it's weird how, he's now technically a good guy after he got inverted. Which it's complicated. Because, he's basically what Wolverine could be if he didn't have the X-Men, or friends, or a conscience, or mental health in general. So, yeah.
Very nice. My number 5 will be Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars, played by Ian McDiarmid. And especially in Return of the Jedi, he was just freaking awesome. He was just deliciously evil. Oh my god, every scene, he's just so vile.
Did he do Palpatine in the new movies?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is he
He
anyways?
played an older, younger version. I don't know, probably in his
I don't know, 'cause
60s
he's
at least.
aged pretty good.
Yeah, and I always thought that he was the reason he looked like that in his face, Return of the Jedi, I always thought he was maybe an alien, like another species, or I thought the dark side had taken its toll on him. I don't really like the Force lightning backfired on his face explanation, because the same thing happened to Luke, and his face didn't become deranged. Then again, it was heated up by a lightsaber, and I think it was his inner dark side was taken over anyway, the dark side of the Force. Yeah, he was just awesome. He was the one pulling all the strings, Darth Vader was kind of just a pawn in his, the great scheme of things, but yeah, Palpatine was just friggin' awesome.
Number 4. For me, it's Darth Maul. Personally, I like this guy, from his striking appearance to his fighting style, which was used to combat Jedi mostly. But then he gets expanded on in the Clone Wars, where his brother comes and finds him. He's got a freaking spider bottom. Didn't sound right. Spider legs. They give him regular legs. Then he goes to take revenge on Obi-Wan by killing the woman he loved, burning down a bunch of planets, taking over the Mandalorian cartel, which Boba Fett belongs to, and then fighting Palpatine. And that was the last time he showed up in the series, which was that series, but he's popped up in the new series now. Where I think his one backfall is he's overconfident about his abilities, where he's really good, but he underestimates people, and that usually kind of backfires on him in the end. But yeah, a really good villain that deserved better in the movie.
Yeah, we definitely didn't get to see enough of him in Phantom Menace, and I would have loved his role to be expanded upon, because he was one of the best parts of that movie. But my number 4, well, there's been so many great James Bond villains, Auric Goldfinger, Dr. Julius Snow, Rosa Klebb, Francisco Scaramanga. I even like Hugo Drax.
Zenny on a top.
Huh?
No.
Le Chiffre, just so many great ones.
You think they would have ran out of pun names for women by now?
Yeah, Pussy Galore and stuff. Yeah, Amelia Largo. But I think we can all agree the best one's Ernst Stavro Blofeld. He only lived twice, and Her Majesty's Secret Service, and even Diamonds Are Forever. Whether he's played by
It wasn't
Donald
the one that was
Pleasance.
dropped down that smokestack.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and
What was the point of that?
and For Your Eyes Only. I don't know. I guess they just want to have closure. But whether he's played by Donald Pleasance, my favorite, one of my favorite actors from the Halloween series, or Telly Savalas, who should have played Lex Luthor, or even Charles Gray, and Eric, what's his name, Eric Pullman and Anthony Dawson, who just played the voice and showed the back of his head, and from Russia with Love and Thunderball. He's just an awesome villain. He's number 1. He's the head of Spectre. He's easily James Bond's most iconic nemesis. And most recently in the movie Spectre, he was played by, what was his name, Christoph Waltz. I thought he did a good job. I'm glad they brought the Blofeld character back. Yeah, he's just awesome, as always. And James Bond's the greatest arch enemy. And my favorite incarnation, of course, is Donald Pleasance, closely followed by Telly Savalas. Blofeld rules.
Number. For me, it's a Disney character. It's Pete. Friggin' love him. It's like he's a bad guy, but like he's just so hilarious. And Jim Cummings just does the best job. Where he's a jerk, he's conniving, but then he'll feel bad about it. It's like it's just Goof Troop really expanded on him, which I liked. Where like he's got a family now. He's more down to earth, but he's still a jerk.
Yeah, because in the really old cartoons, he was like nothing but a villain. Like he was always kidnapping somebody, and Mickey Mouse had to save him or something. Like the really early black and white cartoons.
A couple cartoons, he was a cop and he's a army sergeant.
That's right. Yeah.
Where he was just trying to do his job, and they kept getting in the way of it.
Yeah, Disney got some of the best villains too, and that would also take up an entire top 10 list. We probably should have done like a different video with a different category each time, but oh well, you know.
But the problem with Disney villains is like which one is better than the other one.
Yeah,
that's the only
Shere
thing.
Khan and Jafar, and you know, those are some of my favorites. But my number 3 would be the Green Goblin, Spider-Man's greatest nemesis. You know,
and his greenest.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of green. The Vulture, Sandman, Scorpion. There's a lot of green villains, but Sandman wears a green shirt. I mean, but yeah, the Green Goblin killed Gwen Stacy, or caused her death, pretty much.
Technically, Spider-Man killed Gwen Stacy.
Well, yeah, sort of, but Green Goblin caused it inadvertently. But that's what he's trying to do. Yeah, Norman Osborn is the one and only Green Goblin for me. When Harry Osborn does it, it's cool too. Let's say we got Bart Hamilton, I guess. Yeah, I even like Willem Dafoe's portrayal as Green Goblin in the 2002 Sam Raimi Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, but I didn't like the costume all that much. It should have looked more like...
I liked the costume.
Yeah, it looked like a Power Rangers villain, though. It should have looked more like the comic books. And but Willem Dafoe's a great choice for Norman. And so is Chris Cooper. It sucks that we never got to see him be the Green Goblin. Instead, they made his son Harry the first Green Goblin. And
Godspeed, Spider-Man!
Yeah. Yeah, I have the comic 122 where Green Goblin, Norman Osborn dies. It's kind of in crappy condition, but oh well.
Yeah.
Could be better.
Dies.
Yeah, well, yeah, he comes back eventually. But yeah, he was awesome. Norman Osborn was kind of like a Lex Luthor type. He was powerful and rich and a businessman who was like pulling the strings. But then he became Green Goblin, where he's more insane and psychotic like the Joker. So it's like both sides. It's like a Jekyll Hyde type thing. That made him all the more interesting to me. It's like a split personality. Yeah, he was maniacal, but he also be really suave and charismatic. So it was like the best of both worlds, the best of both the best types of villains in one. So yeah, that makes the Green Goblin so awesome to me.
We're getting really down to it now.
Top
Number 2. Mongo. Now this Superman villain, this is the first one that was created to physically overpower Superman. Because up to that point, he'd been fighting scientists and smart people.
Yeah.
And now he's fighting somebody that beats the shit out of him. And what's amazing to me, for the man who has everything, he just smacks around Wonder Woman like it's nothing, and Batman's gone on to say that she's the greatest in hand-to-hand combat, no one can beat her. Mongo nearly freaking killed her, and like if it wasn't for Jason Todd, he would have won. Like, he had Superman down. He was getting ready to freaking finish him off. It was great. So, yeah.
Nice. Well, for my number 2, and that was before Doomsday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, for my number 2, it's a hard choice between, I thought about cartoon villains like Shredder and Skeletor, who we talked about in our last episode. Some like real Ghostbusters villains. Also Gozer from the movie. But I think we go with Darth Vader, and that made an obvious choice, but for good reason. He's played by David Prowse and voiced by James Earl Jones. He just means business. He's friggin' awesome. Anakin Skywalker, played by Hayden Christensen, was kind of a crybaby.
That's not his fault.
Whiner, I know, but when he wasn't talking and we were just doing the stare, when he was acting with his emotions and his facial expressions, he was actually pretty menacing. You can kind of see the transition to the awesome, iconic villain we all know. Yeah, as I said, Palpatine's the one pulling the strings, but Vader was the one doing all the dirty work.
But then again, you can argue if that stuff's happening to you, you'd kind of whine about it too.
Well, yeah, probably, but
Okay.
Darth Vader.
Number 1. The greatest. The best. It's got to be the number 1. The Paragon, Gaston.
Oh yeah, from Beauty and the Beast.
Now, what I find hilarious is, though, he doesn't start out as a bad guy. And then again, at the end, he's not technically a bad guy if you want to argue about it. Like, this is like 1500s, 1600s. He's the town hero.
Yeah.
And her dad is crazy.
Yeah.
And, like, he's the only thing keeping them from either getting run out or burned to stay. Like, I'm the quarterback of this town. Leave her alone. It's like, and Richard White just does the best job ever.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's stupid. He's menacing. But he's overall great, and this role ruined him. They wouldn't give him any other Disney movies because his voice was too iconic.
Oh, that sucks.
I hate that. I hate it. But yeah, he's number 1 in my book.
Well, he was interesting because, like, any other movie, any other Disney movie, he would have been like the hero, like the Prince Charming, and like that's kind of like, you know, how he was portrayed. He was arrogant, cocky as hell, but like
When you look like that, how could you not be?
yeah, well, yeah, true. But, you know, usually, you know, if somebody, you know, didn't know anything about the movie and saw like a screenshot, they might think the Beast was the villain. I guess Dom's like the hero, but I think it was kind of interesting the way they did that.
But when you think about it, this movie's basically saying Stockholm Syndrome is good.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
What about Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame?
That
Voiced
is
by Tony Jay.
that is something else altogether.
That was a hell of a villain in a Disney movie. But anyway, my number 1, another really obvious choice, but again, for good reason, the Joker. I mean, come on. I mean, don't even need to explain why. You know.
You probably should for the idiots.
Yeah, true. You know, and he was so psychotic and menacing in the comics. I'm still waiting to see a properly done adaptation. Jack Nicholson was great. Heath Ledger was great. Jared Leto looks like he's going to be good. I'm still can't get used to the tattoos and the metal grill and the bling bling crap. He looks like a freaking Hot Topic employee.
I don't see how people are saying Heath Ledger's Joker was the best. I mean, just because he like dropped dead.
I don't
like,
think it was
right
the best. I think that Jack Nicholson was still the best. Heath Ledger wore face paint when the Joker's supposed to be perma white, and he looked like a hobo. He was good. It was a great performance. This wasn't really close enough to the Joker that I'm used to. It was great though, and I do consider it one of the best. He's one of the best movie villains of all time.
Mine has to be Mark Hamill.
Oh God, yeah, the cartoon. I was going to get to that. Yeah, Mark Hamill's voicing him, and the cartoon. You know, that's the best Joker right there. That's the best adaptation. Is the
John
cartoon.
DiMaggio did a good job too.
Yeah,
And
he did.
I'm not sure who's doing Joker in the Killing Joke movie.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. Oh, yeah.
That's going to be its final time. I can't wait for that. I'm so pumped. And that's
I
my
think
favorite
it's out
graphic
already.
novel too, The Killing Joke. I think it comes out in early August.
Direct
There's some
DVD.
screenings.
Animated. It's gonna be
I'm
awesome.
going to buy it as soon as it comes out. It's going to be freaking awesome. Wow, I'm so glad they're. I wish they make a live action adaptation of that. That'd be pretty sick. But yeah, that was like the best.
I don't know. Look what happened last time we got a serious Batman movie.
Yeah, well, but yeah, the Joker. I mean, come on.
Okay, now that's 10 villains.
The Joker does. Sorry, I gotta expand on it a little bit. The Joker does crazy things and just laughs about it. Like he has no rhyme or reason. He just commits crimes, does horrible,
But then again,
psychotic things. He thinks it's funny. It's
He
all
can
punchline.
plan out long-winded schemes.
Well, yeah, he can
He's
definitely
smart
be
enough to do that.
He can be a mastermind at times too, but you know, it's mostly like just part of the punchline. That's what I think makes him so great. He just thinks it's all funny. It's all a joke.
And that time he was a diplomat for Iran.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, and he crippled Barbara Gordon and killed Jason Todd too. So
killed Sarah Ashen.
yeah.
He's
Hey
done a lot
guys,
of
well,
stuff.
that was my top 10 non-horror villains. Last time they dominated the list, and I know I mentioned a lot of comic book villains here. I might try to squeeze in a few others as well. We probably should have separated it, like top horror villains, top Disney villains, top comic book villains, you know, top James Bond villains, top video game villains, but we didn't.
I don't really like James Bond.
Yeah, well, good. Well, but we didn't do that, so, you know.
We'll have another list next time,
Yeah.
where we will do top 10. What do you want to do next time?
Heroes. Yeah.
Heroes.
Yeah. That'll be a hard one, too, because...
We'll have to do 2 videos on that, too.
Yeah, most likely.
Or do top 20.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching.
We're out of here.
Peace.